Welcome back to Twice Half That. I'm Anthony.
What's up? I'm Daryl.
And today we're going to jump back into the world of sports a little bit, for a little while at least. And, something popped up in the last week or so that I wanted to talk about. And he's been in the sports world for a while now. But Ben Simmons is filing a grievance against the Philadelphia 76ers for the $20 million, if I could speak, that they didn't pay him because he refused to show up.
No, it was $20. He's that petty.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Nah, at this point, I really think that this guy doesn't want to play. I think
he just wants the money and he wants to go do whatever the fuck he's doing.
Well, let's look at him and specifically Isaiah Thomas, because there was that little conversation a couple years ago of who should win Rookie of the Year, and I mean, in all actuality, Thomas should have won it. They gave it to Ben, and this goes back to what we were talking about a couple episodes ago, or whenever the fuck we were talking about it. Players just getting pushed through the system. They're good for the area and the level at which, they're able to dominate, at the collegiate level, high school level. And he didn't do G League, but, other people, when they do go through international leagues and then come here. But he's real big. He seems like someone that has been dominating very easily across the board. He came against a little guff, a little bit of trials and tribulations, got called out, and he couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
he doesn't
that does, touching on what you're talking about, these guys don't struggle or want for much for a lot of their life. They may want for physical things, but as far as, when it comes to athletics,
the sports world,
when it comes to athletics, they've never, a lot of these guys that are pro never really struggled and don't know how to deal with it. And granted, he used the excuse of mental health, which, if true, does need to go treated, because that is a problem. It is a legitimate thing. That's nothing to be ashamed of. But the fact that he's filing a grievance against the team because they withheld money, because he refused to show up to the facility, period.
Because that's how it started. It didn't start with any mental health, any physical injury. It was, the coach called me out and none of my teammates came to back me up. Fuck them. I'm not going to play anymore.
Not just that, the fans too. And we all know Philly fans can be quite ruthless. They are rabid fans. I mean, they love their teams, but they can be ruthless.
You better show up.
They're that fan group that if you do great for them, they will always love you. You will never have to pay for a drink in that town, period, till the day you die.
He's seen it.
And then they're also the ones that if you come in and dick around, they're going to call you on it, and they're going to keep calling you on it. I respect that.
Yeah, Philly's hard. You go look up the history with Philly and fighting. It's quite the extensive history. And I ain't just talking about, professional fighting. I mean fighting, period. The motherfuckers are known for throwing them. And, they expect that when you step onto the field, you step onto the court.
If you give it your all, they'll love you. Even if you don't win, even if you're not a championship winner, if you give it your all, you'll be a beloved.
Or you go 0 for 11, 0 for 16, or hey, how about a Houston 0 for 27? It's like, hey, shit happens. You gotta be like, all right, fuck, I had a bad game. You gotta know that that's an outlier. But to go out and to give me a 0 for 1, 0
just
for
completely
0.
disappear. Just completely disappear.
That's
and we're talking about someone that is 6'10", with the handles of a point guard, just completely disappearing.
Who was healthy. Now, I understand. I haven't played at that level, so I don't know that I can't, really speak to that pressure. But looking at all the people around you, you have teammates that will pick you up. You have coaches that will help coach you out of this rut.
Unless there's a personality issue, they want to see you succeed, because you succeeding means they're succeeding.
And you think that Doc doesn't want to perform well in the playoffs? What happened to the team
especially with the narrative
before?
coming around him too,
Man.
that since the Celtics, when he had that stacked team and won, he hasn't won. Like, he wins during the regular season. He's a great regular season coach, but he doesn't win much in the playoffs.
And then you look at what happened with, was it the Clippers? Their little,
Yep.
crumble session. But that, we're not talking about Doc. Well, actually, that does play into it a huge part, because what he's going through is going to play a huge emotional toll on, the team, because he's going to be riding them a little bit harder.
Yeah.
And he seems like someone that who's already gonna ride you a little bit if you're not playing, to the level he knows you can play. And
yeah, he's gonna hold you accountable, and say what you will about him as a coach. I think he's an extremely overrated coach personally, and the results kind of show that. Where he won in Boston, he got just jettisoned into this upper echelon, and really, he's not an average coach. He's a well above average coach, but he's not this upper echelon, Greg Popovich, Phil Jackson,
I'd put him more in a realm, and when he stops coaching, he's gonna be, probably slide into a Jerry West situation where he's going to be consulting, helping teams, because he's really good at that. If you look at the teams that he's put together,
well, and he knows the game. He knows the game. He's not stupid, and I just don't think he's a very good coach.
Well, and you got to trick.
And coaching at that level,
old.
And
I'm not going to say he's old. He's from a different school where the players didn't make as much, and it was a lot more physical, hard-nosed ball, where a lot of these guys can't play it. And you come up against Doc Rivers, who's, again, hard-playing, hard-nosed dude.
And that's the thing, is that
Ben.
he was a hard-nosed player, that's
Ben.
where it carries. Yeah, exactly.
Ben would have folded.
Polar opposites.
Ben
They're
wouldn't,
polar
even
opposites.
with his size.
And that's where I'm going with the whole Ben Simmons thing.
He would have folded against Muggsy.
Oh, yeah.
He wouldn't have been able to against Nate. He would have been like, well, I didn't have any. I mean, you're a great defensive player, but you're showing me if it's a 7-game series, if it's a 5, motherfucker, if it's a 3-game series, I could whittle you down to the point where you're nothing. Or the team can attack you, double team someone else,
you've shown that you
and
can
then
get
you just
gone
crumble.
at, and you'll disappear. You won't rise to the occasion. And there's that's the way it is with some people. Some people just don't have that quote unquote gene. And
this ain't like something where Skip's going on LeBron. Oh, he doesn't have that closer gene. It's like, okay, he's closed a decent amount of games, but it's like, all right, that's not his role. He carried the team for most of the game. Like, fuck. Not everybody can do every facet of the game, but when you abandon all areas of it, it's like, come on, dude. And then you're going to claim, mental health, my back. And it's all.
And that's the thing that kills me, is it's and that's where I was kind of going with all this, is it starts off as using the mental health as the excuse. And if if he truly was dealing with mental health stuff, he needed to get the help for it, because that is a real issue. That's nothing to be ashamed of. And vast majority of us go through some level of mental health. Whether it's just mental health fatigue, whether it's depression, whatever it is, anxiety. Most of us deal with some form of that at some point in our lives, some more than others, some far more severe. If that's the case, that's fine. Like, handle it. But the issue is you're filing a grievance because the team didn't give you fined you the $20 million that you were due to be paid over the time that you missed. Not because of the mental health stuff, because you refused to show up to the facility and even talk to the front office. You refused to show up and talk to your teammates. And okay, maybe part of the issue was the teammates. That you can still go to the facility and or even get on the phone. We can video conference now. You can talk to your GM and the owners and clear up the air and see a doctor that the team's paying for, or to verify that, okay, you are dealing with something. Because now he's with the Nets. He's been traded. He's with the Nets now. Still hasn't played a single fucking game, and they've already ruled him out for the rest of the season and the play-in tournament because he's dealing with his back. And now that makes me think
he's where Zion is. How is that possible?
Yeah.
How is that? First off, you're not grossly overweight. 2, you didn't sustain an injury in play. 3, you literally have no fucking excuse. There's none. Like
Like, if it was a mental health thing, handle it. But while you're handling it, you can still communicate to the front office.
I really don't.
And it makes me doubt that there was any mental health issue.
I don't want to hear that mental health bullshit, because now that's a easy little cop-out. As someone who has, relatives who suffer from it, get the fuck out of here. You're playing. I don't like when people play that.
Like, if it really was, then it should have been getting handled, and none of this would matter because the front office and the team would know, and they would keep paying you because you're under contract and you're actually dealing with a health issue. That's not, if that's not what happened, then it makes me really question whether or not there's mental health issues going on. And now with the whole thing with the Nets, where he hasn't been playing, not because of mental health issues, because of his back. And that makes me question, was he doing something he shouldn't have been doing and hurt his fucking back in the offseason, and now he's using mental health as the reason he doesn't go in, and that way they can't void his contract because he did something that he wasn't supposed to be doing and got injured.
No, he didn't do that. I could tell you the type now. Just look, everybody, go pull up video, go look this fucker dead in his face when people call him out on shit, when he gets a question about, his play, or if you even see him talk. Just go back to old video. You could see the look on his face. He has that look of a little kid who's constantly given everything, and the second another kid, start pressing him, give me my ball back, you little bitch. You're not playing. You're literally over here just making up new rules to benefit you. And now that I'm calling you out on it, you want to be like, oh, that's not fair. They're out to get me. Nobody believes me. Teacher, they took my ball. When it wasn't your ball to begin with, and that you're over here lying and, trying to cheat everybody out of a fair game. And that's what this dude does. He doesn't want to play the game. He wants to come in, he wants to do the bare minimum, get paid, and then leave.
And it shows because he's still the same player today in year, whatever we're in now, 5 or 6 of his career, that he was at LSU. He has not changed his player profile, his skill set. He hasn't widened he hasn't gotten a bigger quote-unquote toolbox. Say what you will about a guy like Kawhi, who is kind of lightweight, doing the same thing, playing when he wants to play, doing all this. He has improved since coming into the league. When he came in, he couldn't shoot worth a fucking damn. And now he's when he actually plays, he's at least an average to slightly above average shooter.
And how do you do that? By listening to your fucking coaches. Kawhi didn't do that. I mean, he had the raw talent, but he had to put in the work. He joined... Which team was he a part of? How'd he get his rings with the Spurs? He didn't do it. That's not something that he joined and he helped create. Nah. Pop had that down. Who was it? Who was the first big tall dude they had?
The Admiral, Robinson. David Robinson.
Then you have fucking Duncan, then the crew behind them. He was literally going to be handed the
He was going to be the next
castle,
Duncan. He was going to be the next Robinson, Duncan, Kawhi.
But
that was the way
he's
that
not
was
a leader.
Go. No, he's not.
He doesn't, and that's okay. That's cool. You don't want to be a leader.
Not everyone is. Not everyone's a leader.
But you don't need to be. This is what... all you got to do is your job on the court, and that's what Kawhi does. He knows, or he understood that if I, filled these gaps to the best of my ability and still try and get better, it will help me improve my game, which then allowed him to do what he did. Bitch, complain, fake a fucking injury, and get, his way to, traded to a ring. Because let's be honest, the Raptors won that fucking ring.
Absolutely.
You cannot give Kawhi. I mean, I'm gonna give him credit. He still played, but the Warriors were banged up.
And he was the thing that took them over.
They were super banged up.
Oh, they were. And
I watched the fucking finals. It was the team that killed us. It wasn't Kawhi.
It was Van Vliet. It was Siakam. It was
Lowry. It was Lowry. Go watch that fucking series. Lowry murdered us. Every momentum killer he was involved in. Every momentum swing.
Kawhi actually wasn't that great in that series.
No, what he helped them do was get a lucky fucking bounce. If he was so good, what's he doing with the Clippers? What's he doing with the Clippers? And this is essentially what Ben Simmons
thought. Although in fairness, he did actually. This is a legitimate injury. It was a ACL, I believe. So
yeah,
this is
but
a
we go.
thing. But
you go to the look. Why Pat Bev got traded? Because he started calling him out, motherfucker. You want to soak up hella motherfucking cap space?
Yeah, and you're talking about a capped sport, so you can only pay a certain amount of money to your players.
And then be like, oh, I'm not going to play back-to-backs. I'm not going to do 2 games in a row. I'm not going to do a day game after a night game. I'm not going to do a game after travel. It's like, how the fuck is that helping us win? And that's what he did with the Raptors.
Let's not forget, I'm not going to show up to practice, period. Which is why that first year in LA, that team looked so just kind of in shambles the first 2+ months of the season, because they legitimately never fucking practiced together, so they didn't know how to play with each other. You can all be professionals, but you got to know where your teammates like the ball. You got to know where they're going to be, how they move. You got to know all these things. You got to be together.
There is a reason why militaries conduct war games within their own militaries and then outside of their militaries with allies, so you can coordinate, figure out how each other moves, and then it helps you best utilize your skills out on the field of battle. Same thing. That's literally what the fuck sports is. They're mini wars. Remove the killing and essentially the hurting. In basketball, you're supposed to remove the contact. But I believe we should go back to a little bit of hand checking. I don't mind that. Like, why structure the game, or why go in a direction that literally ostracizes or completely just ignores whole facets of a sport? Take baseball
because
for one.
It's not sexy.
And it's all like, don't need the DH in, pitch to contact.
Fucking DH.
And fucking steal more. Put more emphasis on the steal. But going back to basketball, Ben, he doesn't want to play. That's why he's suing the team. He wants that money, because to me, this means he's going to fight for every dollar that he was supposed to be given from them and from the Nets, and we're probably going to watch this motherfucker just fade on out because, now I'm really hurt, or I went back out there and I have the yips and I can't do it. And it's like, well, yeah, you can't do it. You can't perform because you've been out of the league.
And you're not trying.
And you're not even staying in shape. That, to me, indicates that you're done. You're done with the league. I made my money. There's no point in me being a professional.
And that's fine. That's fine. You made your money. But man up and retire. If that's the case, man up and retire. I got no problem with that. We've seen plenty of athletes retire ahead of their time because they were done. Whether it was they were done with the grind, they were kind of done with all the behind the scenes stuff. If they were just done with everything, like they weren't passionate about the sport in the first place. They knew they could make a little money. They could get through school and make a little money, and they want to go on. They got the money to be able to do just live off, period, but go into other ventures that always interested them. I got no problem with that. I got the utmost respect for that. If you can walk away from something that you supposedly love at the height of your powers, at the height of your earning power, and just walk away and go, I've got enough. I respect that. But if that's what you're trying to do, fucking do it.
Yeah, play. Get out there. Don't
either get the fuck out there and play
for a paycheck.
Either get the fuck out there and play, or walk away.
Because what was it? A couple weeks ago, I think fucking Nash was all like, yeah, we haven't even seen him at the facility. No, I'm sorry. Number one, NBA, you need to have executives calling, you need to have lawyers calling this motherfucker, telling him, no, bitch, you need to be at a team facility, at an NBA approved facility with approved or I shouldn't say officials, but employees and staff that can help you, that can be tracked. Because fuck no, the owner put a lot of money, he invested in you, and to just be like, nah, I'm alright. It's like, no, you signed a contract. You have to get to work. You have to operate. And this, again, I kind of lightweight blame on Kawhi. Everybody wants to blame LeBron for all these people moving. What? Last time I checked, his fucking contract was up. If he wanted to make it some big media to do...
Yeah, I thought that was a little over the top, but...
To me, that doesn't... It's like, all right, when it happened, I was irritated, but in hindsight, you have... fuck. What was his name? Homeboy was fucking his mom. Everybody on the team knew it. Everybody.
Fuck.
Owner, president, everybody on down. It was...
Kwame Brown?
No. It was something with a D.
Fuck.
DeAndre Walker. No, it wasn't him. I don't know. I'm just throwing names out there. But it was somebody.
Yeah.
And it was Oscar Wilde. And and he was hot. And everybody knew it. Why wouldn't you be pissed? Who the fuck wouldn't be pissed? Like, hold up. All you motherfuckers knew, nobody told me, nobody couldn't pull me aside and be like, hey, bro, you couldn't text me, hey, you need to go check on your moms and homeboy. Of course people are going to be mad, but you got to let the dude, especially someone who the media is dubbing the king without him barely doing anything in the fucking league, before he entered. He could do that. This was Kawhi being faux injured with, oh no, my thighs. Delonte West. I knew it was Adam West. And
he had the D part right.
Yep. Oh shit! His mom got the D part right. And how are you gonna do that to your son? Well,
we don't know. We don't know which way that ended up going. Just saying.
How you gonna do that to your son too, man? Like, yeah. Come on, loyalty. Come on now.
Like on both sides.
Like, fuck. It's just some ass. Go fucking rub it out or fucking shoot it out. But don't fucking do that to a relative. Fuck. So that's okay. You want to team up with your homeboys and go learn how to win a championship with Dwayne Wade? Go do that, because let's not...
I never had a problem with him going to Miami and for them building the team. Like, once you're free agents, you're free agents. You do whatever the fuck you want. And, like, all the people clowning on him or all this... And first off, they didn't start the super teams. I mean, just even in recent memory, the Celtics super team, granted, they were older, they were closer to the end of their... They were closer to the end of their career, but that was even prior to LeBron. That's kind of that was kind of a reaction to that.
Or how about this one? Let's go. I'm not gonna say Shaq and Kobe, because Shaq got played. That motherfucker thought he was gonna play with Magic, and Magic was like, yeah, come here. All right, I'm retiring. That was a cold-blooded move. But the first super team, the cheating ass Lakers, when somehow they get 4 fucking number 1 picks, fucking back to back. Get the fuck out of here. That was cheap as shit. That's why I don't... the NBA to me is, they're full of shit. They literally are. If they want a trade to go through, they'll fucking make it go through. Specifically to one team, the fucking Lakers. We've seen it many times. How you get Kareem?
Yeah.
How'd you get Magic?
Well, Magic was a draft pick, but yeah.
But how?
Yeah.
How'd you get him? How? Look at the team. Go back. Go look at how the draft is structured. Go look at how good teams don't get the top draft pick, yet these motherfuckers got number ones damn near 4 years in a row. Like, come on now. Get the fuck out of here. That's cheap. It's cheating. And then you look at what happened with LeBron when he wanted AD. He was literally meddling in another team's fucking organization.
And it's not the first time you also have the Kevin Love situation, too.
Yeah. So it's all like, get the fuck out of here. And homeboy, I'm sorry, you're not the GOAT. Drop it. I don't give a fuck if you're number one in every stat. You were literally allowed to get to those stats. You cannot deny you were allowed to foul people and get away with it. You were allowed fouls when clearly you were barely fucking touched. So I don't want to hear that shit. You're not the fucking GOAT. That shit dies with Bill Russell. I'm sorry. 11 of 12... 12 of 13 or whatever the fuck it is. No, you're not. Nobody's surpassing that.
The thing that I love is everyone, when that argument comes up, well, first off, it was so long ago.
Don't work like that.
That was so... No. It's so long ago that a lot of people don't even realize who Bill Russell was, what he accomplished.
If you don't know your sports history, that's on your stupid ass. Go back and look
I'm not
up
even
the
talking about the players. I'm talking about fans, too. Because
fans, too. Know the fucking history.
So there's that, and then people use the argument of, well, there were fewer teams, so you're only competing with 12 teams to win a championship instead of 30. But my counter to that, and I actually had this conversation the other day with somebody.
The fucking teams stay the same now with the 30.
Well, not just that.
If it wasn't for the Bucks, name a team that wasn't the Warriors. Other than them, who?
Yeah,
the Spurs, who already had hella championships.
No, and it's even today with 30 teams, there's usually 12 when you walk into the season go, those are your playoff teams. Those are your playoff teams. The other ones, we'll see you next year. But my counter to the whole, there was only 12 teams or how many ever it was when Russell was playing, is quite simple. There was only 12 teams. There's still a lot of players. That means it's a higher concentration of talent. And when you're traveling back then, you weren't flying first class in a charter.
No, you were on a fucking bus.
Yeah.
A bus.
And especially at that time, for a player like Bill Russell, if memory serves right, there was a little thing in this country called segregation.
No, I don't. That's not true.
I mean, that's what they try and teach us in history. I don't know if it's actually true. I was never there. But so he had a lot of other things to deal with off the court. And the fact that he won so consistently speaks volumes.
And again, that's what makes him the best. Actually, shit, if you think about it, it makes him the winningest player on team sport. I can't think of any other.
No, I don't think there's any that have even 11 rings.
And he did it when it was purely just the game. No money involved.
Oh, yeah, he wasn't making shit.
Yeah,
and that's the other thing you got to look into, too, when you talk about the time differences, is look at the resources players today have. And I'm not even talking about the
Oh, I'm talking about the off-field shit. Look at all the training.
I'm not even talking about the potential of PEDs, HGH, things like that. I'm just talking about the stuff that is right there, that is not against the rules for you to get, that you have access to now. Nutritionists, which are even relatively new, like players 20, 30 years ago didn't really have nutritionists.
Shit, creatine,
like the supplements that are out there now. You got the training, just the level of medical aspect. You look at things like in baseball. It used to be when a guy blew out his elbow, well, career's over. Now you tear your UCL, you get Tommy John surgery, you're back in 16 months on the mound.
Yep.
That's nuts.
Crazy.
And not only do you come back in 16 months, you come back in 16 months performing better than when you left.
Yeah, I got a new ligament.
Like, it's ridiculous. It's so that's something that doesn't really get taken into consideration. I've never heard that used in the GOAT conversations. Is everyone talks about the on the field stuff, whether it's rules, whether it's the travel, whether it's the number of teams, whether it's the competition level, whatever. But you also look at the off the court stuff, off the field stuff, and how much different it is, and how guys like Bill Russell were able to have that kind of longevity. Not just the winning the rings that he won, but the longevity at that time when he didn't have access to the science that's out there today.
Shit, they wouldn't even really let these motherfuckers hit the gym. No, don't do too much. You can fuck shit up. You know, there's a lot of factors that go into it, and they wanted to win. Bringing it back to Ben Simmons, he don't even want to play.
No, and I question if it might be a situation where he never actually enjoyed basketball. He was just fucking big. He's 6'10".
Yeah, and
he was just bigger, and in high school, he kind of just grabbed him. Maybe he had a couple buddies that played ball, or maybe when he was really young, he enjoyed it, and so kind of he was bigger than everyone, so kind of just kept going. He got a scholarship to college. Oh, fuck it, I'll go.
I'll respect you if you're just like, you know what, I don't want to do this no more. I'm sick of fucking doing interviews. I'm sick of doing this. I'm sick of doing that. Just give me my money and I'm out. It's like, all right, fuck it.
I'll respect that.
That's how you feel about it.
Come out and say, I've never really loved basketball. I did this for a paycheck. I got a nice chunk of change. I'm sick of the grind. I'm sick of fucking being in front of mics. I'm sick in front of cameras. Sick of fans. I'm sick of all this shit.
Hey, make your money. All right. I'll be like, all right. Then,
at least
you still can't bitch about that $20 million, though, bro.
No, that's gone. That's gone. You didn't show up.
You didn't show
Even if you were injured, if it was truly mental health, any of that stuff. If that's true, if you would have shown up, you would have got paid.
Or do this. Instead of asking for that $20 million, tell them, donate that $20 million in my name, in the club's name, to, I don't know, some mental health charity.
There you go.
There you go, bro. Problem solved. NBA looks good. Sixers look good. You look good. And then get your ass back on the fucking court to help you. How the fuck are you not ready for the playoffs? We ain't talking about practice. We talk about the playoffs. Like, dude, come on now.
Practice?
Dude, you literally will be playing with two motherfuckers that have made NBA history.
Yeah.
How do you not want to get on the fucking court?
And now Kyrie
dudes?
Can play at home, too.
And I can understand that could be, that could be a little daunting, like, oh shit, that's quite the tall order.
That is quite the tall order, but you know what?
You're also coming to your fucking coaches.
Listen to your coach who's won.
Listen to these OGs.
Listen to your teammates who have won. But beyond that, you know what that means? Because you got those two guys on your team, you come in, you ain't the man. You just got to be third fiddle.
Play defense. That's all you got to do.
Play defense, pass the ball. Do exactly what you were doing when you were expected to be a scorer, but now you're not. Now you get those garbage buckets. Now you don't look as bad. And I'm sorry, how you professional, and unless you truly got the yips, how do you shoot 30% from the free throw line? I could go out there and shoot 30% from the fucking free throw line right now. I'm not a basketball player.
How do you have the yips? You were not LaMelo. You're not LiAngelo.
Well, in all fairness,
the Ball brothers, come on. The weight that was put on them before they got into the league was a lot. Did you see them? We seen one fucking falter. It was a dumb move. But again, that goes back to constantly being fucking bailed out of any situation because of what you play. And case in point, he learned his lesson. That motherfucker seems to be doing pretty good.
Well, he's just sitting at home. He's in the G League right now.
Oh, no, that's how he was the
middle
one.
brother.
So you
that
see?
was the middle brother.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Same mentality. Look at where he is. Look at where the other two are. Hard work. Pay attention to what the fuck you're doing. Focus on what you're doing now. You have, let's be honest, max, 5 years where you're going to be super fucking healthy, because the game is going to wear you down.
Oh, it
it's going to
absolutely
wear
does.
you
It
down, and
absolutely does.
let's be honest, you're not going to be a Kobe. I mean, very few people are going to be a Kobe.
That dude
going to be an MJ.
barely missed
Going to
any
be
games. It's crazy. I saw something about Kobe's and he had some serious injuries, and it's like, dude, I don't think he missed more than 14 games in a season or something like that.
You want to know why? Because he constantly kept his body in shape when it came to practicing. Practiced hard. There's a reason that motherfucker got 5.
One of my favorite stories I've heard from him, I think it was Jay Williams was talking about it. I'm not positive if it was him. I think it was. They had a game when Williams' rookie year. They had a game against the Lakers, I believe in LA. So he's like, "Fuck it," he goes to the stadium to shoot around a little bit before, before everything, and he goes out there. He's got half the court, and on the other half is Kobe. He was already out there, and he's going through game speed moves, he is dripping. And Jay Williams goes out there. He does his little thing. He's out there for 45 minutes, an hour, just doing his thing. Kobe's going over hard. He wraps up, he leaves. Kobe's still going. He's like, man, he ain't going to have nothing left for the game.
Nope.
He goes out there and drops a 40 burger on him. And he goes to him afterwards, and he's like, how the hell do you got that kind of... He's like, I wasn't going to let you outwork me. And this is a man that is an established fucking professional, top echelon superstar, talking to a rookie.
And why does Brady have so many rings? Studies film.
I'm not a big Brady fan from New England. I feel like he's opened up a lot more since leaving there, which lets me know that Belichick really has a clamp down there.
It's not just Belichick, it's also Kraft.
That's true, it is Kraft too.
People like to put it on Belichick, but hey man, it's more than just him. It's everybody in that cheating ass system.
And that's and then you have the whole cheating allegations, and
Adam, fucking look at the proof. Motherfuckers cheated multiple times.
And then got popped. And granted, that there's the argument that everyone kind of films walkthroughs and stuff like that, but you got caught multiple times. It wasn't one time you got caught. All right, one time you fucked up, you slipped up a little bit. All right, multiple times. Well, but going into what I was saying about Brady, I'm not the biggest fan of his. I don't think he's the GOAT. Granted, he has one. His numbers are there, but I think there are some other things around that, but that's aside the point. You cannot deny that man's work ethic and his diligence to film. And granted, it's a lot easier, especially when you're a professional level athlete, to go out there and beat a team when you already know what they're going to do via the films or the walkthroughs. But there's plenty of people out there that wouldn't watch that film, that wouldn't put into that work and be able to go out there and retain it.
Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Kaepernick.
So
that's why he got benched. It wasn't because he was... Trust me, I am a person of color. I'm not trying to hear that motherfucker who was raised by white people, and then he's gonna sit there and claim the race card. Bro, last time I checked, when you were coming up, all the videos, every school you went to, everyone fucking loved you. What hardship did you face?
And that's not to put down what he was claiming, because that shit's real.
Yeah, that's real, but to me, that feels mighty disingenuous when you're sitting on the bench.
Well, and it didn't seem like when it first happened that's really what it was. He kind of got put on the spot when he got called out, and he had to come up with something.
No, he was sitting on the bench for hella long. He wanted to draw attention to himself so he can... That's why he was sitting on the bench. He was just sitting there. It wasn't in protest. Because I remember that motherfucker was sitting there and he ain't starting. He's over there with this little sourpuss ass face on. Sitting on the bench, and you can see him all pissed off. It's like, bro, why ain't you up there doing what backups do? Going, sitting there with the coach, doing the shit with the quarterback coach, talking to some of the receivers, doing...
He could have won his job back.
And
there was no one on the roster that was head and shoulders above him.
It's not putting in the work. He didn't want to put in the work, and then he wanted to get traded. And that's everything you heard out of Niners camp.
Out of Niners camp was in the weight room, kills it. Does not spend a second watching film, and doesn't put in any more time than necessary on the field.
And if you watched him play, you would understand he did not know how to throw a football. 99 miles an hour. Fastball. It's all like he's 2 feet from you. Why you throwing it that hard? He couldn't catch it. Or you throw behind him, and it's like, how's he supposed to catch that? Or you throw it hella high in the air, and oh, look, Vernon Davis got another fucking concussion. Some motherfuckers go, he retired because he has how many concussions?
Well, not just that. I don't think Vernon was ever able to fully realize his potential. He got alligator. Yeah, he got gator armed.
He was put up there all the time. What did Jerry? He yelled. I don't know if he yelled, but he would get on fucking Young. Hit me in the fucking chest in stride. Don't make me work for the ball.
And guess what? Steve Young's a Hall of Famer now.
Man, let's look at Mahomes, and really, it's on Tyreek. Let's be honest. His little circus shit's cool, but he's also protected by the league. And when you have the fastest guy in the fucking sport, he just goes
take a little 5-yard pass and he catches 90 yards.
It. I mean, that's literally. I mean, obviously Mahomes has done more than that, but when you have that threat, it makes it incredibly
and it's not just Tyreek; it's Kelsey too, who gives you that security blanket when you don't have the time to get it to Tyreek. There's Kelsey because he's always fucking open.
Bam, and you can hit him, and it's Mahomes' strength. He is a good quarterback, but when you have a wide receiver that can get open, it makes it that much easier. And a lot of these, it feels in the modern NFL.
And with a receiver
they don't throw it
either will get open against anyone, or they have to double/triple cover them, which means that someone else is wide ass fucking open. And Mahomes is a good enough quarterback to hit that wide open motherfucker.
You better be shit. He is skilled. I'm not trying to take anything away from him.
No, not at all.
But you also have to fucking hit your receivers.
You have to take into consideration the people around him.
Kaepernick did not do that. Didn't watch film. He did not do anything to make himself better. He just wanted to be paid to
his
go out
athletic
and play.
ability, he should have been a top 5 quarterback.
He should have been.
His athletic ability, I mean, watching that playoff game against Green Bay, where he's literally, you can see the DB has an angle on him, and he outruns that angle.
And you can't rely, and this, again, ties into Ben. You cannot rely on pure physical fucking
That'll
talent.
get you through high school, that'll get you through your youth, high school, even college, because it's so spread out. But once you get into the pros, everybody is that. Everybody is that.
It's literally been filtered down to the best of the best. And then there's even a filter there where you get the best of the best of the best. And you see that. You see the fucking work LeBron puts in, in the weight room.
And when I say that he's not, when we say he's not the GOAT, that's not to take anything away from what that man's done and what that man does off the court to keep himself ready to go. And, touching back on what we spoke about a couple weeks ago with the whole PEDs, I don't doubt that he's used something. And it doesn't matter, though, because he's still putting in all the work to keep himself going. To be able to still be the player he is at 38 or whatever he is now. I mean, it's impressive. And there is something to be said about the longevity.
Yeah, that's literally understanding that when you're a professional athlete, you are your own company. You literally run your own fucking company. You attach it to these other motherfuckers, obviously because you have to. How are you going to be an independent motherfucking athlete? Just a one-man band in a 5-person fucking sport. It's not going to work. But you know, a lot of these people don't understand that you are the arbiter of how your career goes. Yeah, there's other factors, but for the most part, you control how good you play, how often you hit the practice field, how often you fucking, devote to your craft.
Touching on that Kobe stuff, too. If Ben had that kind of work ethic, that kind of drive, that kind of desire, he would be great. He has the foundation to be an upper echelon, amazing fucking player.
He just doesn't want to put in the work.
Athleticism, the length, the court vision, the passing, the handles, the defense. But he doesn't want to put in any work. He's the exact same player. He hasn't changed his player profile in the smallest bit.
Gotta grow, which segues into my other thing. I would like to see fucking mandatory military boot camp. Everybody go to boot camp. That doesn't mean
service.
No, not service. You don't gotta go. We ain't fucking forcing you to go fight. We're an all-volunteer military, and we're losing the numbers. You gotta keep that shit fresh. And let's be honest, there's a lot of people in this country. We work with them. We live with some of them. People are very, very fucking useless. They're fat. They're dumb.
You just look at the obesity numbers in this country.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Staggering.
And it's sad. A lot of it is, it's like, damn, you only eat one meal, but you don't move. You sit there.
And that one meal you eat is like 2,500 calories. And you literally, like you said, you don't move, which means you're burning tops 1,800 to 2,000 calories, and you're taking in 2,500.
And a lot of people think that the military wants to breed like dumb killers. That's not what the military wants. They want an educated soldier. You were being outfitted. If you're just a regular grunt, go look it up. You got 82 grand worth of shit on you to keep you alive and to fucking do your job to stop the enemy from fucking with shit. And the way we're moving is deterrent. I don't want to kill him. I want to keep that motherfucker from doing what he's trying to do. Stay over there, preferably drop your fucking rifle and just leave these people the fuck alone, i.e. me. Granted, there's always going to be, no matter what military, no matter what nation you're with, there's always going to be people who seek to make money through you, or doing, some type of nefarious action to siphon money from the system. That shit's gonna happen. The only way you can stop that... And if they're not
siphoning it, Jesus Christ, I can't speak.
English is hard.
Yeah, it is. If they're not siphoning it, they're doing something, like you said, nefarious to generate money based on that. You look back into Vietnam. So yeah, exactly. You look at, Air America.
Look at Iraq. If bitch ass Dick Cheney didn't push and literally lie to get into Iraq, we would have had the soldiers, we would have had, more importantly, the moral high ground to then push upon Russia in Syria, stop Assad, and really do what the fuck FDR and all these other world leaders, said they were going to do. No more genocide. We ain't playing this motherfucking game anymore. We do it one time when Saddam gasses his people back. I'm not a fan of Bush 1, but there's something to be said about him not being a bitch and going in there and solving that problem after they decided to go after some Kuwaiti money. But still...
they still got to get theirs.
If you want to make money, we can make money. We could play the Boy Scout and turn around and do what we do normally. Be the motherfucking thug we are. Because we are. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody who's tops in the world or tops at their specific point in time, that nigga's dirty. He's gonna do dirty shit. It comes with the fucking game. It ain't, this ain't Star Trek, unfortunately, where I can, play Picard and, extend an olive branch and hopefully you'll take it. Shit don't work like that. Politics
and
works
even oftentimes when that olive branch, my God.
Yeah, it's like an olive branch.
It's kind of like an olive branch, but not quite. When that's extended, it usually was preceded by something, which oftentimes is a show of force.
And then you come...
And that's why that olive branch was accepted by the other side because you showed enough force to them to go, fuck, it's not worth it.
And a big reason why, one of the many reasons why the United States isn't stepping in with Ukraine, it's because you don't do that. You don't do that. If you really need to understand it on a smaller scale, go watch a couple of these prison YouTube channels, and that mentality, blow it up. Because nation states think that way. They just think about it in a more educated, intellectual way. But the violence is still there. Because, hey, Starship Troopers said it best. Violence, ultimately, it does get results. It's the last motherfucking result. Don't ever go to it unless, it absolutely calls for it.
But
you cannot deny. Go fucking open up a history book.
Yeah.
The shit is quite entertaining, and you will see, despite humans being, in, the realm we currently are, we've been in this intellectual, level of thinking for quite some time. Go back about 5,000 years. There's literally shit written that you're like, damn, that motherfucker wrote that. Eloquent as fuck.
Yeah.
Trust me, you're on YouTube, go look up Dan Carlin, Hardcore History, Kings of Persia or whatever. Go look up that. Go look up the Persians. Them motherfuckers were bad.
And that's actually, the Persians are a perfect example of what we were just talking about with the olive branch being extended after a show of force. They would show force, then the others, the nation states that they're attacking would turn around and go, what was that you were offering? Because they would go offer something. They would get turned down most often because they think they fight against them. They'd show up with this massive army, fight for a day or two, and then turn back and go, is that offer still on the table? And to the Persian Empire's credit, it usually was, because that's how they were able to keep it going.
Yeah, hey, I'm not changing your God, I'm not changing your money, I'm not changing I'm going to change your political system, but not all, drastically. The people who are in power now, they want to cooperate, then we'll stay in power. They don't want to cooperate, all right, motherfucker, I'm going to send you to the sand pit. And then I'm going to kill you and bury you in that sand pit, and then we're going to go about our business. And that's how shit ran for a good portion of humanity. It still fucking goes like that. We just don't see it.
It really is.
Look at Ukraine. Look at what the Russians are doing.
Yep.
This shit ain't going to stop. It's just, the further along
and
we
you
get,
can go even further back
the less it happens.
To Saddam. How did he get into power?
Yeah.
It's a lot of these situations. It's the same situation where you go in and go, okay, you're gonna listen. You're gonna kind of play second fiddle to us. You're gonna help us out and do what we need you to do. Go for it. You're in charge now. And that's exactly what's going on. And that's what happens throughout. And it's not, a lot of times because we've been the superpower we are as a nation, it is the U.S. going and doing stuff like that. And when the Soviet Union was going full bore, it was a similar situation. And it's the same thing. And they did it slightly different. They did it closer to Persia, where they took over that country and it became part of theirs. Or what the U.S. would do is they go in there and it's like, oh, no, you're still your own country. But behind closed doors, you owe us.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
So the tribute between them was behind closed doors, where the Soviet Union, it was all out in the open.
Well, we're going to straight just switch what you do to what we do, whereas we were more like, hey, this was a business deal.
Yeah.
We both agreed this was going to happen for this.
This is a merger, that's a hostile takeover.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's essentially what it is. And that's where we're at now. And that's what Putin's attempting to do against these Nazis, the Nazi
quote,
Jew
unquote,
president.
Yeah.
Which
how you're Nazi Jews beyond me. I don't know how the fuck you manage that one.
I feel confident in stating, I bet you that there is someone who is Jewish that is a Nazi somewhere in the world. It's just
shit. There's black white supremacists, so shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But that being said, I got a hard out, so we're gonna pick this shit up next time.
Catch you next time.
All right, motherfucker. Twice half that.
Out.